Welcome to Circle of Hearts Radio. Journey with Grandmother Allayah as she enters her magical world of relics, sacred sites, and ancient crystal skulls. Meet with exciting trailblazer authors and individuals shifting the consciousness of humanity. Send her your questions to be answered on air on her monthly segment, Ask the Oracle. And now your host, Grandmother Allayah, in the sanctuary on the airwaves on OMTimes Radio.
Welcome to Circle of Hearts Radio on OMTimes Media. Welcome to my sanctuary. Today, we're bringing on a young man, a medium from Scotland, who's been getting a lot of recognition. Now, I have found myself from my own experience as we're all, everybody's awakening to different abilities and whatever. There's a lot of mediums and psychics coming out of the woodwork. So the part of the thing is, everyone needs really to be very discerning, because when you do approach a psychic or a medium, usually you're in a very either confused or hidden state. So you don't want to be deceived. You're emotional, and the people that do this really, that are on the service path of helping people really need to be responsible. So we're going to take a little bit of a different approach to this show. I'm going to introduce you to Luke Danskin. He's from Scotland. And, I told him, today we're going to make it sort of a day in Luke's life. What it's like to be a medium. What are his goals? What are his thoughts? We're going to get inside his head and his heart and show you the different side. Instead of just a young man being out there presenting messages to people, we're going to find out what he's all about. So welcome to the show, Luke. How are you today?
Hello, I'm very good, thank you.
Okay.
Very good.
Like I said, we're going to get inside your head. But to start off, let's find out a little bit about you, your background, when you discovered that you're seeing spirit. Did you, tell people how? I know that was a young age, but did you recognize what you were seeing, or what?
No, it was, I mean, as far back as I can remember, I've always dealt with spirit or felt spirit in some way, but I really thought it was just a normal thing. Everyone could see what I was seeing, and that was it. It was just completely normal for me in that way. But it was when, as I grew older, I started to notice that Mum didn't see these people. So I
be a little different.
Yeah. So I was thinking, oh, Mum isn't speaking to that man. I thought Mum was just ignorant. She just didn't want to speak to this person. But just as you get into teenager and your mind starts to change as well, you realise that Mum can't see these people. And it does get it was a little bit scary at that point, but it was, like I say, it was very normal for me as a kid, because I thought everyone else could see what I was seeing, and sense the feelings that I was getting about people that I met out and about. But it was...
Did you share this with your friends?
No, I never told anyone. I kept it, I call it my secret psychic life, because that's what it was like. I kept it, up until about 4 years ago, I would say, is when I started to speak about it. But it was always a secret with me, because I honestly thought at age 15 that I was going a little bit mad, and people would think that I was going mad, and that would be it, because you can hear voices and that's happening to you. So no, but it was just a secret. It was mine. And
I know a lot of us experience that, and also it makes you feel, many similar people that do this path, makes you feel very isolated.
Yeah, it does. It made me feel, like I say, when I was really young, I didn't really get it. But in the teenage years, whenever I think when your body starts to change, you become more aware of different things. It does. It makes you feel you're completely different from. Well, I felt I was completely different from the rest of my family, and you do feel like you're in that you're in a corner as such and just kind of left there because, and maybe that was due to me not telling anyone, but you do feel isolated, like you say.
What made you finally decide to say something to somebody?
It was 2007. My uncle, I was very close to my uncle. He was like a dad to me, and he passed. And I could see how his daughters were completely distraught at how they had lost their dad. And it was just little bit by little bit, I could see him and I could feel him and things like that. And I would text message his daughters and send them emails and say, like, I knew certain things, and they would come back and say, how do you know this? Only Dad knew this. So it was little bits like that. And then through my cousin, speaking with my cousin, she said, look, you can help so many people. And that's all I've ever wanted to do was help people. And when I was at that point, I was doing like care work. So I was caring for the elderly and people who were ready to pass and different things. So it meant that I could help people on a different level of understanding and a different level of thinking as well. So that's what kind of brought it out in a way that I could see how much it was helping my cousins get over that sort of grieving process and things like that.
How did you, when you started to speak about it, how did your mom
Well, I thought my family would go against me. I thought they would never speak to me. I was completely wrong. They are the most. My mum especially is most really so supportive. She's always been interested in these sort of things. And her mum, my gran, she passed 2009, but she had said to me before she passed, "You can see them like I can." So obviously, my gran had seen them for 81 years of her life. Mm-hmm. But my mum was so supportive. My mum, she's been at most shows that I've did. She comes along. She's really, really supportive in a way. She didn't quite get it at first because it's totally different from the rest of the family and things. But no, they're very, very supportive of me.
Oh, that's good because I know it's difficult.
Yeah,
when you first start speaking out about it, because people don't realize how difficult it is.
It's difficult, I think, to keep it in. When I first started to speak about it, it was like the weight of the world lifted from my shoulders. It was such a relief. It was just, I could feel so much more relaxed. Like this secret that I had for however many years was now out. It was just relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you go into doing it even to a bigger audience?
It was, well, when I first started doing it, I did like 2 readings for people. Never expected it to take off. I did the 2 readings, the phone started to ring like crazy. And it hasn't stopped from there. And the reason I never ever intended to do like shows or in front of an audience, but when I did my very first show, I realised I can reach so much more people within that 2 hours or 3 hours when you're in front of an audience.
Now, what I like to, people I know when you say you're in front of an audience, all eyes are focused on you.
Yep.
From your perspective, what do you see?
It's strange because you would expect to see loads and loads of faces. I don't. I just see this. It's like this haze of energy that covers the audience, and that's what starts to. It looks like it's moving, and eventually I start to pick up that energy. And what I see out there is, and it is like it's a haze of energy. Every single person that comes to a show, like what I do, is there for a message or is there for some sort of little bit or whatever. And I think my biggest thing is to uplift them in a way and just, it's like, I try my hardest not to see what the expectation is because the expectation is huge.
Yeah, because I imagine that audience is full of a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be there to see you. So that's why I was kind of curious, when you looked out there, did you see, I mean, you have the physical people.
Yep.
But you see people around them.
Sometimes, usually what happens with me, the spirit people will join me on stage, and even before I start a show, I begin to pick up information. Maybe a spirit will come tell me different names and dates and things like that, and then I usually give it. But when I'm on stage, I don't. Sometimes I see like little lights and things dancing about people, and I know that maybe they're trying to draw me to a certain area. But usually what I see is spirit on stage with me. So, and then I just start to give the information as it comes in, and every time someone puts their hand up and it's for that person.
Because that's kind of, I was curious myself because I'm sure all eyes, when they're on you, everybody's saying, me, me, me.
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it on stage. You can feel it that way.
Yeah, so that's why I was kind of, wanted to, bring forth what it's like for you to do this work. So people get perspective that.
I mean, what it feels when you go out on stage, or even when you're sitting one-to-one with someone, there is a massive responsibility that comes with being a medium. You are dealing with people who are grieving every single day. When you stand in front of 200 or 2,000 people, every single person at that point is almost at the lowest point they can ever be in life. And I think every single medium in the world should understand the responsibility you have as you're dealing with people at that point. And it's not about, I'll just give you a message and hope it helps. It's about uplifting the full audience, because not all the audience is going to get a message. You maybe got 10 people who are going to get a message. So you have to get the audience going. And laughter is a huge point of my show. And it's not that I'm trying to be funny. Spirit comes through with their sense of humour. They come through and we all laugh and we cry, and it's like a roller coaster. But I think in front of all the people, you just got to get them uplifted in a way and make everyone feel that they got something or they witnessed something happening.
So also part of your purpose or your soul purpose is when we're dealing with a mass of, I'll call them souls out there.
Yeah.
You know, the physical people are souls too.
Yeah.
But you know, you're saying, okay, let's raise this energy up.
Yeah.
Let's feel it through the heart, and by the time I'm done, you know, with our sessions, you're going to walk out feeling your heart's not going to be so heavy. Maybe your answers weren't they weren't answered individually, because that would be impossible, to happen. But so it's like the collective. You're working. I mean, I don't know if I'm explaining myself right. It seems like you're doing more than just pinpointing a person. Okay, I have a message from somebody. It's a whole healing.
Yeah, it's a healing. It definitely is a healing, and I'm hoping like maybe the person that gets a message, maybe 6 people around about them, can get something answered, or just know that there is something else. They don't have to believe in there is spirit there. They just have to know that there's something happening. There is something there, and it has to heal people.
Okay, well, we're gonna head into see how quickly that went.
Yeah.
I told you that music sneaks up on you. All right, take a breather, and we'll be back.
Conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Hey ladies, do you want to have that good hair day feeling all the time? Gentlemen, would you want your special someone to have that glow, letting you know she's feeling completely satisfied? This feeling and that glow can be yours by embracing your sexual power. So join me, Rachel Kenley, award-winning romance author, on the O-Spot. The O-Spot will guide you to that peak with guest interviews, book discussions, and conversations on the thrills of sexual empowerment. Put the zing back in your life. Come up and see me sometime on the O-Spot, live on Hump Day at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Hi, this is Angela Levesque, host of Entanglement Radio. Join me Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern for inspiring conversations with visionaries in spiritual science and conscious healing. Entanglement Radio, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Transcendent talk for the conscious mind.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Well, welcome back. We're with Luke Danskin, and we have the chance with him as a captive interview person here to get into his head and his mind and his, soul purpose. Now, Luke, this is an odd question, but it popped in my head. You deal with this every day. What is your concept of death?
There is a lot. I think that's another full show. But I describe when you pass, it's like you just move next door. There is a whole. I watched my brother-in-law pass, watch his soul leave his body, which was an amazing experience. But I think when you pass, whatever people believe is important to them. But my belief is you're round about the people that you loved when you were here. And you stay with them, your energy stays with them, your soul stays round about in that place. You are in another dimension and you are there, but I think you're still around people there. And I don't believe that, I've never known a spirit that wants to come back to Earth, so that gives me, there's something good over there.
Yeah, it's almost like another level of learning and experience.
Yeah. Yep.
So when I was talking to you earlier, what I perceive you as is like a bridge or a door, which opens a line of communication between dimensions.
Yep.
So I know, like I said, we were talking about, when I asked you about death, because it's such an emotional subject.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing throughout the world and, articles and everything, people are becoming more conscious. It's not, they're looking at things different.
Yep.
They're seeing it as, like you said, it's like here we are on one side of the wall and someone else is on the other side of the wall.
Yep.
So also in your biography, you put about celebrate the lives or, those close to you in spirit.
I think when someone passes, and a great friend told me when I was really distraught about my gran, and people think, it's a medium, it's fine, they don't get grieving, they don't get distraught. Of course you do, but what a great friend said to me, you should take your gran's lessons, what she taught you, and teach them. And I think we all should do that. Is we got to celebrate that we had that person in our life for however long it was, whether it was for a day or 50 years. You have to take what that person taught you, teach it, and celebrate that how lucky you were to have that person in your life. Yes. And I think it has to be that. I mean, we all grieve, and it's natural that we grieve and we get upset. But I think you got to take that strength in that point and know what you learn from that person.
Do you see in the readings that you do, or let's say the larger audiences that you do you see kind of? I know you're young.
Yeah.
So I can't go and say, like how it was before. As I was telling you back in the 60s and 70s, this was a whole different perception going on here. But do you see a change in people that they're willing to take, like you said, celebrate, the lives of these people who are in your life and see it as a growing experience? It's more healing. It doesn't seem it is as devastating or something.
Yeah, I think the way, I can't really, it's like, the way I would explain it is what I want to do is bring the work of a medium or a psychic completely up to date. Mm-hmm. Maybe in the older times or younger mediums or whatever, they're sometimes a little bit kept in their ways. And I think what you're dealing with really is just really ordinary, normal people at your show or at your place. And I think that if I'm such a normal person, I have a normal life, everything, well, I have normal within reason, but it's like I think you're dealing with them in that way that they've got to understand that what you're saying to them makes sense. Some people will say that they have sort of vibrations with them on stage. That's not me. It's more very normal so the person can understand the vocabulary rather than a medium. Speaking between medium and medium, you can speak in that vocabulary, but not to a normal person.
It's have you ever run into a situation? This popped in my head.
Yeah.
When you're talking to somebody, and spirit comes through, and it's in a different language.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why that popped in my head.
I'm so glad you brought it up because it's the strangest thing in the world. It was just previous show in Scotland not that long ago. We had an Indian man who came in. He was dressed in the most beautiful Indian clothes. But what I've learned to do with that is you've got to say exactly what you hear, and it doesn't matter what it sounds like. You've just got to say it. And what it turned out to be was the man's name, and his wife was sitting in the audience, and it turned out to be I think it was actually her father-in-law, but it turned out to be his name, what I was saying. But what I was saying made no sense in English.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, it comes in a different language, and that's how you have to give it. You have to give their actions. Everything that comes into my head comes out my mouth. It just has to be that way.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Like I said, I must be picking up on you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where that question came from.
A good question.
But, I was kind of curious because, I mean, you are in Europe, and I'm sure, you deal with, all the different languages. And I'm going, boy, that must be interesting.
It really is, and even what I've learned when I do Skype readings to the US, it is completely different from the UK. Like, even like the names are completely different. There is many people in the US are from different countries and different things, so I love the variety of it. It wouldn't be good if it was just the same thing over and over again. I like when that happens, like you're standing in front of an audience and an Indian man appears. It makes the show completely take a different angle. Because it's not just your ordinary names or whatever, it's a completely different altogether.
So you're enjoying the show while the people are enjoying the show.
Yeah, that's where it has to be. It has to be. I don't want people to pay their money to come see. Oh, I never got a message. I want them to pay. If they're going to buy tickets, they have to come and they have to enjoy it, have a show, and feel. They need to leave feeling like something because they're putting their hard-earned money into tickets, and they must enjoy themselves. They must come see a show and leave feeling, wow, I got something from that.
Yeah, in a way, it's interesting. I mean, we use the word show, thinking of being entertained.
Yeah.
And I know in Europe, people have to be so careful with the words. This is for entertainment purposes only.
You have to.
So I guess, the word show is good. But like I say, if you were come to the States, I think, which you will be in November.
In our first ever US tour, which is exciting.
And I think, we'll bring that up, toward the end. But it's almost, instead of using the word show or presentation or whatever, it's almost like come for the healing.
Completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree, because that's exactly what I want people to leave feeling, that they have healed something. It doesn't have to be the total angle of grief, but they've felt like you said, they've been uplifted and relieved of something. Even if they don't know what it is, they must feel like they've been healed in some way.
So, now another interesting question. Don't ask me where this is popping up. I think you don't know what to do here. When people, like I said, I've noticed, a change in rituals and, burials, and some people actually in the States are going, there's this new conscious death awareness thing that I'm not sure the word is, but they have home burials, etc., etc.
Okay.
From the old days, I'm referring to myself. They always, sometimes you go to a wake and you see the person.
Yeah.
So have have people talked to you about that? Are they more comfortable with it? Are they expecting it? Because sometimes people get startled.
When they see the body of the person?
No, not the body of the person, but the body of the person, but the spirit of the person. Watching.
Yeah, I feel more people, from the people that I've dealt with here in the UK and in the USA, they're very more open to seeing the spirit of someone. And when I tell them, maybe I say, don't get scared, he's going to turn up, they say, oh no, I would never get scared. It's like they want to experience some sort of spirit, whether it just be a sign like a white feather or whatever, but they get some sort of, I think people are a lot more open to like other dimensions and spirit world and things like that now.
Oh, so you think maybe in your own soul path, as a soul coming into this particular incarnation, how do you like this heaviness? When you're coming in, you're ready to change how things are doing. I mean, change the ideas of mediumship.
Yeah.
Because I know other mediumships, like I said, I always mention James Van Praagh. He is growing into reaching out and teaching people spiritual development online. So now you need somebody to, kind of fill that space. and maybe to readjust some of these ideas about mediumship.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody on this earth has got their own space, and there's room for all of us. That's the way I look at it. But yeah, there is something like, if it's, each medium is completely different. You go see James Van Prague is completely different from John Edward or whoever. We're all completely different people, and each event is completely different as well. But I think it's about, what I want to do is bring new ideas forward and make events more interactive with people, so we can bring it completely up to date. I don't know. It's just to make people. I don't want to. Yeah, just make them feel, like I keep saying, uplifted, and just feel.
So, if you could possibly physically do it at the end of, let's go, a healing experience in the States. All right, let's change the words.
Yeah.
You would, if you could possibly physically do it, you'd give everybody a hug.
Yeah, in the audience, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if what I love to do is meet the people after the show. I absolutely love meeting people after any event, because you get that contact with them. It may not be a message, but you just get to say hello. But when I'm on stage, just before we finish, or I finish any event, it's like I want to reach out with my arms and give everyone a hug, so I can touch every single person.
Boy, I'm in your head.
I don't know if you want to be there.
Well, I don't know. I'm going, where am I coming up with this for?
Yeah,
okay. But no, it's good to know that, bring this out when we say, for people to really get to know your feelings in what you do and how you approach and how you think. Even caring enough that, okay, well, end of show, I'm packing up, I'm going home. That you're saying, no, I don't want to just cut it off and leave everybody dangling.
Yep.
There's got to be some kind of easing out of the, energy and stuff. So, I mean, that's very important. And okay, here we are again. All right, we'll be back with Luke in a few minutes.
Of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
If you remember living fearlessly, joyfully, and in a world filled with adventure, happiness, pleasure, and unbridled living, then this show is for you. Join me, Dame Nicole Brandon, as I bring you the world's top experts in wealth, creativity, flow, seat-edging technology, space, wellness, health, love, lust, and passion, all merging together each week here at the Hub of Happiness. Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Passionate Living, where you can ride on the magic carpet ride of living and learn how to lead a passionately wild, exciting, and outrageously amazing life.
Matt Connerton here. Join Jen Coffey and I twice a week for Matt Connerton Unleashed, a political talk show that's a little different than what you're used to. No liberal or conservative agenda here, just an honest dialogue about truth and how things really work in the world of politics. Matt Connerton Unleashed, every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Now, in this next segment with Luke, I'd like to let's delve even a little deeper. Luke, we want to find out what is to be like in your skin when you wake up in the morning. I mean, are you able to shut this off?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I say, it's very, for me, it's just very normal. I have what I would call a normal life, and when I wake up, and I'm not a morning person, but when I wake up, it's just I don't have spirit next to me 24/7. I think they have the respect I have for them, and they know I think they think Luke is going to work. Let's go. Let's work with him. They know when I'm open to things. If they can be a little bit persistent at times, and they keep coming until you give the message to someone, but I think that. I seem to say that people say you're a servant for spirit, but my way is like I work together with spirit. I love passing messages on. They have to give the messages, so it works in a kind of mutual understanding. I think that they have to know that I have to sleep, but some spirit can be a little bit persistent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people really see that as perspective. Sometimes they see these media television shows or whatever, and they think that you're on 24 hours, that every time you open your eyes, you're seeing somebody.
Yeah, and I mean, some mornings you do wake up and there's people standing next to me and I think, go away, leave me alone just now till I get round. But it's like, I think you'd be physically and emotionally drained if you were on 24/7. If you were there scenes. And sometimes spirit will turn up and I jump and I scream and Mum will say, look, you think you would be used to them by now. But yeah. It's still like a bit of a jump when someone shows up out of the blue, because if you're answering emails, you don't expect a spirit to turn up behind you.
Do you also, through your eyes, like I said, let's get them another perspective.
Yeah.
When you see someone that's passed, is it a loving energy? Do you ever see a scary energy that's like, no?
Well, I think that completely depends on, I think, the person whose energy it is. I mean, usually 99.9% of the time, the energy is phenomenal. It feels like you could sit in that energy all day. It's loving, it's caring, it's kind. It's hard to put in words how nice of an energy that is. Sometimes if that person hasn't been the best of people in life, you can feel that energy. And I don't know if I've got to feel it in order to give the person that I'm giving the message to the energy that person gave off to them. But most of the time, it's the most kind, caring energy and it's love. It's just complete love. There is just nothing else to describe it.
Now, sometimes in this work, which, I've done, I told you myself, I've done before, you'll run into victims of a crime.
Yep.
How does that work with you? I mean, for me, I told you, I don't look for it, but sometimes, there they are. And they're insistent.
Well, I see, the thing, I mean, every reading I do, I like I say, is to inspire the person, everything like that. But in some cases, and I don't like to go too dark with it, but you have people who have been rape victims or whatever it is, and you have that spirit come to you who has done that. And that is at the point, but it uplifts that person, because there was one lady I read for who was a rape victim, and when I picked up that person and I said, I know what he did to you, and I described it different things, she was in tears, but it was tears of relief. She said no one else knew that, Luke. So it inspired her to just feel a little bit more relaxed, that this was a weight off her shoulders. But you do pick up that spirit as well, or that energy of that. But I think there's different levels of, when you pass, there's different levels of it.
Yeah, no, because like I said, I've run into that too. But, I think it's interesting for people to see how you see things.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very... It's the way I see it. I mean, the way I see spirit is like like I said, they're full of love and everything like that. But it's just, for me, it's just whatever way they want to show themselves or whatever they give me, I just pass on to the person. It's like you said, there's a bridge between two dimensions as such.
How about when you go into? I mean, this myself. I bring up these experiences because I'm curious how you you go into, I know in Europe there's places with a lot of history. Let's say you were to walk into a castle
Yeah, I pick up energy very, very quickly, and it's strange how you mentioned Castle. Last year,
I told you I was in your head.
yeah, sure in my head. Last year, I took Mum to a castle we had never been to, and I walked into a room and I could see people, like, they looked like prisoners. And I thought, how odd. And then we came outside and I seen a little plaque on the wall to say it used to be the jail of the castle. And it's also, when I've been on a holiday with my partner Kirsty, we went into a place that was, we didn't know what it was, but you could see that there was prisoners there as well and different things. So it's difficult, I find, to switch off in that environment because the energy can be so much. And it's nice to pick up that because it's nice to see what you're seeing in different things. But at that point, and the other place is hospitals, I just can't switch off in hospitals. But it's, yeah, when you go into old places that are stooped with like history and everything like that, you can feel it.
Yeah, no, I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
Or else dealing with going to certain sites, or historical sites or sacred, like Stonehenge, or in the States, there's different areas stuff too. And sometimes I've seen things, or even like in the States, in Pennsylvania, there's a place where Civil War, Gettysburg. Masses of young men's lives were lost. It was a very brutal war. And the dimensions are so fine between them that they constantly interlap. So it's like when you go to the area, depending how you look, you can be seeing, 5 soldiers walking.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So I think it's sometimes, like I said, that's the point I want to bring out, that, people can see through your eyes and, see how you feel and stuff. So not many people really discuss it. They take the professional attitude, okay, this is what I do.
Yep, I completely agree. I think more and more people, I have to maybe, I don't know, it's like help people open their minds to this whole new era is what I want to call it, because it's like if they open their mind to something else, it doesn't have to be what I do, because I don't want to change anyone's beliefs or anything, but it's just open up to this whole new thing that's there. And I want to show people exactly how it works for me and exactly how, like, I'll answer any questions people have about anything, but it's just like how I see them is how I would easily tell people. For me, it's completely normal, and I'm going to give people in that view.
So you're allowing yourself to be approachable.
Yeah, you have to be. I think some people with this ability keep themselves at a distance as if we've got it, you haven't, sort of thing. And I think that's completely wrong, because people want to know, how did you get that? How did you get my mother through? How did you get that message? And I think they're the questions that need to be answered just a little bit. And more and more of my demonstrations, different things like that, I want to tell people, this is how tonight's going to work. And I never know. If you step on front of an audience, you never know what's going to happen in that event.
Have you ever felt, people's awareness is changing. Have you ever run into a problem where skepticism, that wonderful word that you say something and you're trying to reach out to the person and they're going, nope.
I think like if someone came to the show or the demonstration as a skeptic, and I think if their mind gets changed by the end of that evening, that is their life path. That is meant to happen for them. But skeptics are skeptics, and I'm not there ever to change people's views. I mean, sometimes we get comments on Facebook, tell me something so I believe. Mm-hmm. It's not up to me to make someone believe in what I do. I believe. I've got so many other people around about me that believe, and that's all that really matters. I think if you're in control of your own energy, and you're, how can I put it? You don't have to change other people's views. Skeptics will always be skeptics. They will always be there. They'll always be around. I mean, I'm so glad I very rarely get anyone, but it's in a way that I think that's just, if their mind gets changed throughout a demonstration or whenever that is meant to happen for them, they're meant to have a spiritual awakening as such.
Well, I guess people feeling that you're just comfortable with yourself, that you really don't have to prove anything, like you said.
Yeah.
You're just being that
just
door.
Being me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're being you. You're approachable. You're kind of, taking the path. Okay, well, here I am. I'm the store. I can help you see, understand communication between the two doors, and maybe when you understand it, your energy is you'll be uplifted. That's another word that you use a lot.
It just has to, and I think if they're at like a demonstration event, whatever, and they hear something, even if they just hear like a minimal little thing, one word, and that can change your life. I mean, I have been to see mediums in Scotland and the UK and never got a message from them, but something they said clicks with you. And you think that was meant for me, that was meant to happen tonight. So that's what I think people are leaving with, feeling uplifted because they heard something that makes sense to them. Because I think spirit can come through in many ways that touch like maybe 5 or 6 people, although one person's getting the message, it's touching other people throughout that theatre or wherever you are.
Have you ever run into, all right, now as a medium, or just because you have, the developing senses, have you ever run into, let's say, the angel realm?
Oh yeah. I see. It's funny because when I see like pictures of angels, I think it's fun when I see the pictures of angels, but they look nothing like it. But I don't see them all the time. I mean, I'll speak to angels. I know they're there with us every single step of the way. Everyone, I believe, people who come in, they'll ask, "Who's my guardian angel?" I don't think I'm meant to know that. I think you know that. You know who's with you, a guide or whoever it may be. And I think that the angels are phenomenal. They instantly, as soon as, and I tell people, ask angels for help if you need it, and they will help you. But the only thing is, they see your life in the long run. They see it longer than I ever would as a medium.
So are you happy being a medium?
I absolutely, as long as I help people, and as long as this work completely surprises me, I'll do it forever, because it brings me so much joy. I mean, I can be in quite a stressed mood or whatever, and as soon as I sit down with someone to do a reading that lifts, and it makes me feel uplifted as well. And to know that someone's left having something, I don't know what they leave with, but as long as they've had something, I'm happy.
Oh, that's good, because like I said, people, it is a responsibility. And we'll go into our last segment. I told you this goes quick.
Yeah, you did.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
What if living didn't have to be so serious?
What if you could move beyond your problems with greater confidence and ease than you've ever imagined?
Throw your labels out the window and join the Irreverent Therapist for practical tips and a very different way of approaching the changes you would like to create.
Marilyn Bradford
and Pam Hodling
have empowered hundreds of people to come out of self-judgment, quit looking to experts, and begin to create the lives they desire.
Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Irreverent Therapist Show.
Hi, my name is Monica and I'm the host of Co-Creating Now. Give yourself an opportunity to connect with your all-knowing higher self and manifest joy, love, and peace together every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Well, we're back with Luke and Luca. I do appreciate you being authentic and letting us get in your head. Because I
like
don't know.
that.
I mean, I didn't realize I was going to get into your head, but
Yeah,
this
you are.
happened. But the last 15 minutes and toward the last 5 minutes, we'll tell people how, to get hold of you and what you're doing on Facebook. But continuing your journey, how did you end up meeting or working yourself to the States?
It was very odd. It was my partner Kirsty had sent a message to Kelly, who's now become my agent. She gets hundreds of people, she said, a week, and I don't know why she chose me. It was obviously meant to happen. It was obviously some sort of path. And I spoke to Kelly and I gave her a reading. She claims it was one of the best she had, but and then she signed me, and now it's turned in. We've got an event coming up. We've got 5 events at the end of in November, and my last show in the United States is with James Van Praagh, who I would have never imagined sharing a stage with. So it's all come about really quick, but in a good way that it's happening. And in US, I can't wait to tour it in November. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it just seems like you're being taken where you need to be taken.
Yeah, there seems to be some sort of path there that's happening for me, and I just seem to go with the flow and let it happen and see what happens. And you meet people along the way who are phenomenal. And
it's interesting. Usually I find myself, I always say that, I fly by the seat of my pants, what I'm doing here half the time. But if you just see where things take you, and follow your heart, it always takes you where you need to go.
That's completely right. I completely agree. There's too many people trying to be in control of everything, and I don't think you can ever be. I think if I was trying to be in control of everything, I would no way would be coming to the USA. I would still be here doing my little readings and things like that. It's like sometimes you've got to sit back, put your feet up, and allow life to take you where you want to go. So
actually, it just when you follow your spiritual path, you enjoy life more too.
Yeah, you do, and I have very stressed days, and like everyone. But you seem to you enjoy it a little bit more. You understand that things will be okay. I have been in some of the worst situations, but you realise that things are going to be okay in the end, and you become settled with it, just with that belief that everything's going to be okay.
Now, being a medium, also, like I said, working with this particular, transitioning and life cycles and stuff. People, even myself as a hospice nurse, when you really get a chance to talk to people that are even transitioning, they'll always tell you, enjoy your life. That's the one thing that they...
So true. I used to do care work for people who were like passing and they were palliative care and things like that. And they would always say, enjoy your life, have a good time. They would never have any regrets about not paying the bills or not having the money or whatever. They would always say enjoy life, because I think that's the biggest thing we can do is you have to have the company of people and things like that, and you just enjoy life.
And so if you were to, before you end up leaving, I always ask a person if they have a message. And I think one thing in bringing you on is I wanted to make sure people understand what your life is like, what it's about.
I think my biggest thing for people who are at the point of grieving, and that's who you deal with, is you've got to go through that grieving process naturally, not chase a medium and not go straight after a medium as soon as someone's passed. Is learn to cope just a little bit without that person physically here. And then eventually take the time. If you want to go and see a medium, then you go and see. But I tell everyone, do not get attached with a psychic or a medium or whatever, because you hold on to that an awful lot.
Yeah, no, that really is important, for the people, like we said, to be discerning. And it's not that you have to, look and give the person a resume. Okay, well, I'm not going to go to them unless they, can do such and such for me. But not to become followers, not to empower other people over your life. If you find
That's so true. Yeah, you got to be on. The way I describe it is, you got to be in control of your own energy. To someone else to deal with your energy and things like that. When I go for this, is going to sound. It's just the way it is. Is if I go for readings with other mediums, they see the success that is happening, and they'll say to me, "Your grand says you've got to slow down. Your grand said," and I know for a fact it's not my grand saying that. It's their own mentality. So some people will try and it feels like your life's been controlled by the medium or the psychic, and I think people have got to be in control of their own energy.
So by, you being very open and talking to them straightforward and always being authentic, where they can feel, okay, he's reachable, he actually cares.
Yeah.
These are two very important qualities.
You have
whoever they choose, whether it be to help them, psychically or, while they're understanding their own life. These are two qualities that I really think people need to look at, and it's not the price. If a person decides to pay $900 for a reading, it doesn't mean that they're the best in the world.
No, it doesn't. No, it's what they rate themselves at, and I completely understand. If they rate themselves at that price, then fine. But I tell people, if people came just now, they say, "How long could I wait for a reading?" And I don't. Usually, some mediums would say, "Oh, wait 6 months," but usually I try and say, "Well, maybe just even wait until like a year or wherever," because I don't want people to rely on me.
No, not especially when they're in an emotional,
because they can become attached to that thing. I don't mind people being attached to me, but I don't want them to be attached to that help, because I want them to be able to, if they can grieve alone and get over it, fine, and come to me when they just need a little message or a little bit of upliftment, that's fine, but not to come when they're in total grief-stricken state.
I mean, this really can be a whole nother subject, but, I know we're going to have to go into it.
Yes.
The whole thing is the people need to release their loved one's soul so they can further their own spiritual path.
My mum said to me, and this is sincerely, when my cat had passed, and I cried and cried and cried about my cat, and she said to me, "Look, just imagine your cat has a candle," she said, "and every tear you cry puts that candle out." And she said, "And he can't go with the other angels if he's not got his candle lit." So that made sense to me. And that was only when I was about 7, is you've got to release their soul, that person that's passed, you've got to release that part of them and not hold on to it too much.
Because it'll always be in your heart. I mean, right?
Yep.
So in our last 5 minutes, here we are already.
Yeah, no.
Tell us where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing after the show, and get it all in that you can catch.
I can squeeze in. Well, I can't wait. USA, I'm coming in November. My first show is in Minneapolis on November 7th. Then we go to Phoenix to Celebrate Your Life on November 8th. Austin. Then we go Mission Viejo, then Redondo Beach with James Van Prague. And after each event, like the next day, we'll be doing private readings and things with me as well. But they will be booked at events. Every single show has got tickets on sale just now. You can visit my website, lukedanskin.com, which is there. After here, in about 30 minutes, I think I'm doing live Facebook readings. And if you type in Luke Danskin Psychic Medium, you'll find on there that I'll be live doing readings and different things like that. So you can like the page and keep up to date there. But I know, I'm so excited about the US tour. It's going to be so much fun. And I hope I can reach out and inspire as many people as I can through the time that I'm there.
Well, I think people are going to, that have the chance to listen to the show and, how we refer it on the social media, I think they're going to be able to see you as a person, not just another one.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I don't want to be. I don't want to just be another one. I have to be me. I'm reachable. And you'll see, in 30 minutes on Facebook, you can see the messages that come out they're a little bit different from normal, but,
you're going to be on Facebook after the show.
Yeah, I'm going to be on Facebook. Yeah, 30 minutes. I'm going to be on there, and I'm going to do like live readings, so that will be good. Live messages from Spirit and things, and so
maybe I'll go later on Facebook and I'll see. You'll see Allayah there.
Yeah.
You go, oh, I just got rid of her.
She was just in my head.
Yes, it spooks you out. Isn't somebody can get in your head, right?
Yeah, I'm usually there in someone else's, but yeah. No.
Tables turned.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad you came on, and I'm glad we were able
Thank
to.
you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's so good just to speak about what I actually do and how it works. And
Yeah, because like I said, you bring another aspect to this path of service, and there's a lot of good people out there.
oh yeah, 100%. There's a lot of amazing people that I've met who are mediums, and really just the main reason a medium should be is to help people and encourage them and inspire them in some way. That's
So, is your mom listening to the show? I'm going to put the podcast on.
Oh yeah, she'll listen. I think she'll listen tomorrow. Yeah, I'll let her listen when it's there. Yeah.
Okay, and she'll probably say you did real good.
Yep.
So, do you? And this will just pop. So we go one more minute. Do you ever see animals?
Oh yeah, all the time. There's a lot. I mean, I love dogs. I mean, I'm kind of scared a little bit of dogs, but when a dog turns up at a demonstration, it's like I get a little bit scared, but I've still got to give it. And so I joke because I say dogs can't speak. What am I going to do? But then names come in different things. Yeah, the animals are part of your life, so of course they're going to be there in spirit.
Yeah, because I was just kind of curious if that pops up too, because I never really knew, because I've never gone.
Yeah, well,
I mean, usually I'm on the opposite end here, but I've never gone, so I really didn't know what you see, how you see. So this was very interesting for me. I got a chance to ask questions.
Yeah, I've learned a lot as well. So it's true. Life's just learning, and we all learn from each other.
So I wish you well, and once you keep in touch. And,
I will do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was really fun, and everybody that's listening, take a look at this young guy. Maybe I'll see you on Facebook later.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Your conscious connection.